The silence in the apartment was deafening. It pressed down on Nicholas, suffocating him. Every corner, every object whispered Emma's name. The scent of her lavender perfume lingered in the air, a cruel reminder of what he had lost. Empty spaces gaped where her laughter used to be. The world felt cold and gray, stripped of all its warmth and light. He wandered from room to room, his heart a heavy weight in his chest. The apartment, once their sanctuary, now felt like a prison. Each photograph, each piece of furniture held a memory of Emma. He could almost hear her infectious laughter echoing in the hallway, see her radiant smile across the dinner table. Nights were the hardest. The bed felt vast and empty without her warmth beside him. He would lie awake, staring at the ceiling, his mind replaying cherished moments from their life together. Each memory, once a source of joy, now brought fresh waves of pain. He was adrift in a sea of grief, desperately clinging to the wreckage of their shattered dreams. Emma was everywhere and nowhere. He saw her reflection in the bathroom mirror, heard her whisper in the rustle of leaves outside the window. Her favorite mug sat untouched on the counter, a silent testament to her absence. He couldn't bring himself to move it, couldn't bear to erase the last physical trace of her presence. He found himself talking to her in the quiet moments. He would share stories of his day, knowing she wouldn't answer, yet clinging to the hope that somehow she could hear him. The apartment was filled with her essence, yet she was gone. It was an unbearable paradox, a constant reminder of the love they shared and the future they would never have. One evening, as Nicholas sat by the window, watching the sunset paint the sky in hues of orange and purple, he noticed a small wooden box tucked away on the bookshelf. It was a box Emma used to keep her most treasured possessions, old photographs, love letters, and other trinkets that held special meaning for her. He hadn't the heart to open it since her passing, but tonight, something drew him to it. With trembling hands, he lifted the lid, his heart pounding in his chest. Inside, nestled amongst the other items, lay a sealed envelope with his name scrawled across it in Emma's familiar handwriting. His breath caught in his throat. It was as if she was reaching out to him from beyond the grave. The days that followed were a blur, a haze of sorrow and confusion that clouded his every thought. Grief had become his constant companion, a shadow that followed him everywhere he went, never giving him a moment's peace. He withdrew from the world, isolating himself in his shared apartment, haunted by memories of Emma. Every corner of the apartment whispered her name, every object a painful reminder of what he had lost. Friends reached out, their voices filled with concern, but their words seemed to fall on deaf ears. He couldn't muster the strength to respond, to let them in. He couldn't bear to face their pitying glances, couldn't stand to see the unspoken question in their eyes. How are you coping? The truth was, he wasn't coping at all. The truth was, he wasn't coping. He was barely existing, moving through life in a fog of despair. Each day felt like an eternity, each night a relentless reminder of his solitude. His work suffered, his writing dried up. The passion that once fueled his creativity was extinguished, replaced by an overwhelming sense of emptiness. The words that once flowed effortlessly from his fingertips now seemed trapped within him, locked away in a vault of sorrow. He would sit for hours, staring at a blank page, unable to find the words to express his pain. The world continued to spin, but Nicholas felt frozen in time, trapped in the moment Emma left him. Life moved on around him, but he remained stuck, unable to move forward. He found solace in routines, small rituals that gave his days a semblance of structure. Every morning, he would wake up, make a cup of coffee, and sit in the same spot by the window, just as they used to do together. It was a way to feel close to her, to keep her memory alive. He would talk to her, tell her about his dreams, his fears, his loneliness. It was a one-sided conversation, yet it brought him a sliver of comfort, a way to feel connected to her memory. It was a one-sided conversation, yet it brought him a sliver of comfort, a way to feel connected to her memory. He would hold her photograph, tracing the lines of her face with his fingers, as if trying to etch her image into his mind. One afternoon, while sorting through Emma's belongings, he stumbled upon a notebook filled with her handwriting. It was a discovery that took his breath away. It was her journal, a collection of thoughts, dreams, and aspirations. Each page was a window into her soul, a glimpse of the woman he had loved so deeply. As he flicked through the pages, his heart ached with a mixture of sadness and love. Her words were a balm to his wounded heart, a reminder of the beautiful moments they had shared. It was as if he was hearing her voice again, her words jumping out at him from the pages. In those moments, he felt her presence, a comforting whisper in the silence of his grief. The letter was like a lifeline thrown to a drowning man, a beacon of light in the darkest of times. In her elegant script, Emma had poured out her heart, expressing her love for Nicholas with a depth that took his breath away. Each word was a testament to the bond they shared, a bond that transcended the physical realm. She wrote of their life together, the joy they shared, the adventures they embarked on. From the smallest moments of laughter to the grandest of their journeys, every memory was etched in her words. She spoke of her illness with a frankness that surprised him, acknowledging her mortality while clinging fiercely to hope. Her courage in the face of such adversity was both humbling and inspiring, but what moved him most were her words of encouragement. She didn't dwell on her suffering but focused on the future she envisioned for him. She urged him to live a full life, to embrace new experiences, to find love again. Her words were a gentle push, a reminder that life goes on and that he deserved happiness. She wrote that their love would never die, that it would always be a part of him, guiding him through the dark times. Her love was a constant, an unbreakable thread that connected them. It was as if she knew, somehow, that he would need her strength to carry on. Her foresight was uncanny, almost as if she could see the future and knew the challenges he would face. Reading and rereading her words, Nicholas felt a glimmer of hope pierce through his grief. It was a small spark, but it was enough to ignite a flame of determination within him. It was a flicker at first, small and fragile, but it was there nonetheless. That flicker grew stronger with each passing day, fueled by the love and hope Emma had left behind. Emma's letter became his talisman, a source of comfort and inspiration. It was more than just words on paper. It was a piece of her soul, a part of her that he could carry with him. He carried it with him everywhere, her words a constant reminder of her enduring love and her unwavering belief in him. It was a silent companion, always there to offer solace and strength. Her words echoed in his mind, urging him to break free from the chains of grief. They were a call to action, a plea for him to live the life she had envisioned for him. He knew she wouldn't want him to wallow in sorrow, to let their dreams turn to dust. Her dreams for him were vibrant and full of life, and he owed it to her to make them a reality. He owed it to her, to himself, to try, to take that first step towards healing, towards living again. He had to find a way to honor her memory by living the life she had so desperately wanted him to have. And so, with her letter close to his heart, he began to move forward, one step at a time, guided by her love and her words. Encouraged by Emma's words, Nicholas slowly began to piece his life back together. Her encouragement was like a gentle push, urging him to find his way out of the darkness that had enveloped him. He returned to his writing, finding solace in the familiar rhythm of words flowing from his fingertips. The act of writing, once a mere hobby, now became a lifeline, a way to channel his emotions and make sense of his pain. At first it was difficult. The blank page seemed to mock him, a stark reminder of the void left by Emma's absence. The words came haltingly, laced with pain and longing. Each sentence felt like a struggle, a battle against the overwhelming grief that threatened to consume him. But gradually, the act of writing became a form of therapy, a way to process his grief and honor Emma's memory. It was as if each word he wrote was a step towards healing, a way to keep her spirit alive. He wrote about their love, the depth of their connection, the unbearable pain of her loss. He poured his heart onto the pages, reliving their moments together, both joyous and sorrowful. He wrote about the mundane moments they shared, the laughter, the tears, the quiet intimacy that had bound them together. These memories, once painful to recall, now brought a bittersweet comfort. Writing became his sanctuary, a place where he could escape the suffocating weight of grief and lose himself in the world of imagination. It was a refuge, a safe haven where he could explore his emotions without fear. He poured his heart and soul into his writing, finding a strange comfort in revisiting the memories of their life together. Each story he penned was a tribute to their love, a way to keep her presence close. Each word he wrote was a testament to their love, a way to keep her memory alive. It was as if the act of writing could bridge the gap between the past and the present, allowing him to feel her presence once more. He wrote about the places they traveled, the dreams they chased, the unbreakable bond they shared. These stories became a way to relive their adventures, to feel the thrill of their shared dreams. He wrote about the future they had planned, the children they hoped to have, the life they had envisioned together. These dreams, though unfulfilled, were a testament to their love and the life they had hoped to build. As he wrote, he felt a shift within himself. The act of writing was transforming his grief, turning it into something more bearable, something he could live with. The pain of loss was still there, raw and ever-present, but it was no longer all-consuming. Writing had given him a way to cope, a way to find peace amidst the turmoil. It was as if, by writing about Emma, he was keeping a part of her alive, not just in his heart, but in the world. His words were a testament to their love, a way to ensure that her memory would never fade. He knew she would have wanted him to share their story, to let others experience the transformative power of love, even in the face of loss. And so, he continued to write, finding solace in the words that flowed from his heart, knowing that through his writing, Emma's spirit would live on.